Great day, everybody. This is Chjazze Lewis, the Philanthropy Empress, here with ZHEEN Magazine, ZHEEN, Z Entertainment Network / Z Magazine. I am a celebrity event host, spokesmodel, motivational speaker, and today's topic is going to be called the gamble. And what I mean by the gamble is there are certain things that we gamble with in life, whether we realize it or not. Some is intentionally and some is unintentionally. So let's go ahead and just let me get into details about what I mean. One of the examples that I would give to you is one of the main things a lot of people take a gamble in is with people's feelings, meaning they push people to their edges, or they attempt to push a person to their edge, and they do it intentionally. Like, they would intentionally do things that they know would aggravate the person, that would anger the person, that would vex the person, in an attempt to get a response from them. But you're taking a gamble because you never know how far to the edge you have pushed that person, or how far to the edge that person may be from something maybe that happened earlier in their lives, or happened earlier on that day, maybe at work or at school, or when they were just out and about. You really don't know where a person's mindset really truthfully is, even when you think that you really know them. Prime example, sad, and it's a very sad situation when you have children that are in their parents' home and they're making bombs, they're ordering, these weapons, and they go on killing sprees, in their schools or in their communities, or even in their own home, because these children have been pushed to the edge. They're at their limits. And what happens is we're so quick and easy to just brush things like that off. We'd be like, oh, get over it. So, well, you so what? You be mad about it. Oh, well, it may aggravate you. But you really don't know the effect something may be having on a person. Not saying that you need to walk on eggshells when you're around a person. That's not what I'm saying at all. However, you don't want to intentionally take a person's feelings for granted. If they're conveying to you what you're doing to them is causing them to react or feel a certain way, then you don't want to continue to do that, because there are consequences with your actions, and that person's reaction to your actions may end up being deadly consequences for you, or detrimental consequences for you. So you don't want to push a person to the edge because you feel like you have that power or authority to do it for whatever reason. And to me, this is just my personal opinion. If you're the person who intentionally push a person to their limit, or or intentionally cause a person to become vexed, or they just intentionally pick on them or nag or do things that they know will make them upset or irritate them, it's like a bully. That's what bullies do. Bullies always try to prey on a person's weaknesses. They try to intimidate the person. They want the person to feel uncomfortable, and that's what you're doing. If you're intentionally doing things or saying things that you know will cause chaos or cause disruption in your relationship with somebody, or cause that person to become vexed, even if you're not in a relationship, it may just be a colleague, business or school, what have you. However, you do not have the right to continue to provoke that person, because you may provoke that person one too many times and they have had enough, and you may get them at one of those days where their mind is not even focused, where their mind is already scrambling and already in a state of aggravation and just frustration. And you may say that thing to that person or do that thing to that person, even though you may have done it many times before and gotten away with it, and it may be that one particular time that you do it and that person snap, and it be detrimental for you. It causes a lot of problems Um, that's a gamble that a lot of people take all the time. And we see this so much. It's so much. And that's one of the main gambles people take in life. They don't take more gamble, you know, when they take a risk of robbing stores or trying to rob people, which that is a gamble too, because again, you're gambling with your life if you're doing those kind of things. Or anybody who does those kind of things, they're gambling with their lives, and it's not a good gamble to make, because it's not guaranteed that you will come out on top. Yeah, I don't care how many times you came out on top. Guess what? Like that saying said, every dog have their day. Give a dog enough rope to hang itself. That's what's going to eventually happen. That person's going to eventually meet his or her match, and it's going to cause a problem that they would not have even imagined, because they were being so used to getting over and always being the dominant one. But believe you me, everybody have their match, and you're going to meet your match one day if you're doing that, and it's not going to end up well for you. So that's a gamble that a lot of people take in life, and they just disregard it. They don't take any heed to it. They don't, you know, take any warnings from it. They just feel that, oh, well, this is who I am. This is what I do. Person don't like it, too bad. I'm just being me. I'm keeping it 100. I'm keeping it real. No, you're not. You're being stupid. Keeping it real don't have anything to do with stupidity. Keeping it 100 doesn't have anything to do with being dumb and idiotic. That's a mindset of a fool. You know, that's what the Proverbs say. That's what the book of Proverbs says. When a person conduct themselves like that, they're a fool. They're foolish. So if you're doing those things, then you're putting a bullseye on your heart and on your back, on your forehead. You're putting a bullseye everywhere on your body to get hurt really, really bad. And it doesn't even be worth it, just to make you feel, so that you can feel superior, or you can feel grand, or feel like you have a sense of belonging in the earth, or whatever your reasons is for doing that, or the person's reason is for doing that. They need to really go in somewhere and just go in isolation, like for real, and meditate and find out the root cause of what's making them feel like they need to continue to prey on somebody and push a person to their limit, to gamble with their lives like that. It's never a good deal for anybody. So when a person is telling you to stop doing something, believe you me, you need to stop it, because if you don't, it's going to backfire on you in a way that you would not even expect it. And it doesn't even have to be violence, you know. It can be with a relationship, and again, it always seems to happen in a relationship. This person is telling you, if you keep nagging at me like this, it's going to make me do this. If you don't spend enough quality time with me, it's going to push me into the arms of somebody else. If you don't stop doing certain things that you know you need to stop doing, that you know is wrong in your relationship, you continue to do it, then you're giving that person pretty much a green light, and saying, okay, you got the green light to go ahead and do whatever you feel like you need to do to me, to get back at me, or to get my attention. And it's usually never a good thing. That's why the arguments come about. Sometimes it becomes physically violent, which is really sad. But when you put a person in that kind of predicament, then it's just like mentally caging somebody. And anybody who's been in jail understand, you know, how it feels to be confined and restricted. When you put a person in that state mentally, that is a real bad ordeal, because when that person finally gets to that point where that boiling point where they've had enough, they're going to erupt like a volcano. You push a person to the edge, they can explode like a volcano, and you just never know when they're going to erupt. So it's not good to take those kind of gambles. Another kind of gamble that people take, particularly parents, is with their children. they say, well, this is the way it was brought up and it works for me. I didn't have any problem. I'm not saying that some of those old school disciplinary ways or ways of upbringing children are incorrect and does not work for today's youth and generation, because a lot of those principles and disciplinary actions or steps can actually make a big difference in the way your child perform or behave in school, at home, over other people's house when they're away from you, out in your presence. However, we as parents, because I'm a parent, I'm a single mother, we have to understand that our children are faced with different challenges than we were. I mean, the temptations are still there, of course, the peer pressure and all of that, the bullying, all of that kind of stuff still exists, but we live in a world of now of technology. So there's a lot of things that children can engage in on technology and get involved in and deal with technically wise, and it'll just be way over our head. For instance, they may have to take tests. Well, not may, but they do. They take tests, and sometimes they have to take them online. I know my child had to take some of his tests on the computer. And so, it was kind of challenging for him. And so, me as a parent, I'm not going to be like, oh boy, calm yourself down. Oh, whatever, you can do it. Anyway, I'm not going to have that kind of attitude. Sometimes there's different approaches that we need to take as parents to keep from taking the gamble of pushing our children away from us. If our child wanted to come to us and talk to us, allow them to come to you and talk. I don't care if it's something silly, if it's something foolish, if it's something that just to you don't make any sense, just seems ridiculous for them to even bring it up. That's not the point. The point is, do not push your children away. Do not provoke them to anger. And a lot of parents do that. Then you wonder why your child's so mean, why they seem to be so anal, why they have such attitudes. I mean, other than it being just genetic and hereditary. Because some people, they pick up genetical ways of their, ancestors and, grandparents, parents, and things like that. Children do that. We get our characteristics from those in our family genealogy as well. So it can happen that way. However, when you're intentionally provoking a child, or if you're not engaging with your child like you need to, you can provoke your child to go out there and get into things that could cause a gamble with their lives, like drugs, crime, promiscuity, just a lot of different things that they can get involved with, because the parent is so preoccupied with their own world and what they want to do. And when I started the company, granted, me was so busy all the time, was so busy, and me had to just stop myself, like seriously, like me had to just shut myself down and focus on my child, because it got away from me so fast that me didn't even realize that that's what I was doing. So I had to stop and start engaging more in what my child liked to do, his activities, talk to him and find out about what he wants to do, how he's feeling, find out about his day, what he think about certain things. I mean, sit down and talk to your children, have conversations, make dialogue with them. You'll be surprised to find out that they know way more than you may think they do, and they're just waiting for the opportunity to show you as the parent, look mom, look dad, this is what I know, this is what I've learned in life. You're not going to know they know these things if you don't take out the time to talk with them and to listen to them, even with constructive criticism. My son sometimes gives me constructive criticism, and it does make me feel a certain kind of way, but at the same time, I'm very humble in me can take constructive criticism from my child, because sometimes we don't see ourselves like we need to as parents. And when you don't want to take constructive criticism because it's your child, or because it's coming from a child, or even somebody that you say wasn't your child, maybe somebody you don't like, that does not mean that you don't need to listen. And a lot of times we can reject help that we need for ourselves that we might have even prayed for, you know, saying like, oh God, help me, oh help me, Lord. Well, he's trying to help you, but because you cannot receive the messenger, you miss the whole thing. And so now you took a gamble with yourself again, putting yourself in a position where, or in a predicament where you will not fulfill your life dreams, you will not fulfill your purpose in life. And that's a gamble that people take as well in life. But back to the children, found out what they like, engage in things they like, and if you're able to afford it, then sacrifice or make the investment into your children. Don't leave your children just hanging high and dry. If your child's come to you and say, I want to play, professional NFL, play pro football for the NFL, and you find out what teams that your child is interested in, who your child likes the best, and see if they have a children's camp, football camp in the summertime that your child can go to, and go put your child in the camp. Oh, I just don't have money. Like, if you have money to go out to eat regularly, if you have money to go get your nails, for ladies, go get your nails done regularly, your hair laid, men, go get yourself groomed up and get the expensive line-up, edge-ups and stuff like that, and all that. I'm not saying you shouldn't look presentable, you should. However, if your child is trying to get into something positive and constructive so that they will not get out there in the street and gamble their life, take a gamble with their lives of living a street life versus living a wholesome life, then do that for your children, because it'll be well worth it in the long run. And then, shoot, your child become a professional NFL player, you ain't got to worry about it, no money. Your child take care of you. You have that kind of relationship with your child. You have a good relationship with your child. You don't have to worry. Your child will take, I'm quite sure your child will take care of you once he has accomplished his goal and dream of becoming a professional NFL player. If it's a girl and she decides she wants to be an astronaut or a scientist, genealogist or whatever, whatever she wants to be, and she pursues that and she becomes very successful in it, she's going to remember you helped her, along the way. You sacrificed, and I'm quite sure she'll return the favor as long as you guys have a good relationship. So that's a part of the gamble that a lot of parents take with their children, and jeopardizing a relationship with their children, or even not even having any sort of relationship with their children in no form or fashion, pushing their children out in the streets, giving their children pretty much on the silver platter, to gang banging activities and things like that, because that's the only thing that they're going to seem to have that they can engage in, because every time they want to do something, you don't have the money, but then they seeing you doing this shopping, they seeing you spending money over here, they seeing you spending money over there, they seeing you do this for this person, that for that person, buying stuff for yourself, but you say you don't have the money to send them to summer camp, or you don't have the money to put them in programs to help them pursue their goals and dreams and ambitions. Something's wrong with that. Children are not stupid. They pick up on that real quick, even when they're only like 4, 4, 5, 6 years old. I don't think they're too young, because they're sharper nowadays, because I guess it's something they put in the vitamins, the prenatal vitamins, I don't know what it is. But these children come out more advanced and more alert now than, when I was a little baby, during the time that I was born. But that is a gamble that a lot of people take. So do not take gambles. And don't push people to the edge, because again, you just never know how it may end out for you. And a lot of people's relationship, a lot of good marriages or relationships that could be really good and led to a very good, wonderful, successful marriage fails because people like to take those kind of gambles. The gamble, they want to toy with the person's emotion. They want to push them to their limit. They want to try them.